Hi again, it's Mary Beth. Today's Sunday story is all about the Exodus. So we talked about this in the sermon this morning, but I also like to read the story because I think it's one of the greatest stories in the Bible. It's one of my favorites. And it's all about the people leaving Egypt to become free. So we are reading the story from the book I Am, which is about the different names of God. And the name that they use for God in this story is the God who saves. And in Hebrew, that's called El Moshe. El Moshe. So this is the story, leaving Egypt, from the book I Am. Moses and his brother Aaron went to see the king of Egypt, who was called Pharaoh. God wants you to let his people, the Hebrews, leave Egypt to worship him, they said. Humph, Pharaoh said. Why would I do that? The people are my slaves. Tell them to get back to work. And then Pharaoh made the Hebrews' job even harder. Oh, Moses, the people cried, this is terrible. We are in more trouble now than we were before. Moses asked God what to do. This is how to answer the people, God told Moses. Tell them, I am the Lord, and I will bring them out of Egypt. They will not be slaves any longer. I will save them with my power, and I will bring them into the land I promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Moses told the people what God said, but they didn't listen. God saved his people anyway. God began by sending troubles to the land of Egypt. The troubles were everywhere in the land, except where the Hebrews lived. First, God turned the river into blood. Then he sent frogs, then gnats, then flies. He sent sicknesses to the animal and people, hail and locust. He sent thick darkness to cover the land. After each trouble ended, Pharaoh shouted, No, 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 the people can't go. But then God sent one last terrible trouble, and many Egyptians died. Pharaoh changed his no, no, no to get out, go. God had already told his people to be ready to leave that night. They followed Moses and hurried out of Egypt. Then Pharaoh changed his mind. I wish I hadn't let the Hebrews go, he said. Let's chase after them and bring them all back. In their chariots, Pharaoh and his soldiers raced to find the people. In front of the Hebrews was a lot of water, the big Red Sea. And when the people heard Pharaoh's chariots rumbling behind them, getting closer, they were terrified. Oh no, they cried. What will happen now? Who will help us? Don't be afraid, Moses said. God will save you. Just be quiet and see how God will fight for you. God sent a big wind. It divided the sea, making 2 tall walls of water. It dried up the ground at the bottom of the sea, so the Hebrews could walk across on dry land. Pharaoh's soldiers started to go across too, chasing the people. But God twisted the wheels of their chariots so they couldn't go far. When all the Hebrews had reached the other side, God sent the walls of water crashing back down into the sea on top of Pharaoh's army. God saved his people and brought them out of Egypt, just as he said he would. Whew, that would take a lot of bravery to walk across a sea like that. I love this story because I used to watch a movie called The Prince of Egypt when I was little, and it was all about the story of Moses, and I really liked that movie. So this is one of my favorite Bible stories. So I hope you enjoyed it too, and you learned a lot about Moses and the way that God freed his people. And we'll be back again next week for another Sunday story.